Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Collective Code. I am Daniel Hunt, aka Dan Can, the People's Realtor, and today I've had the pleasure to interview quite a few different realtors. But today I can honestly say this guest is an incredible realtor in the industry. Today's guest is someone who truly embodies what it means to build a brand with longevity, alignment, and intention. She's been in real estate for over 2 decades, serving the Dallas-Fort Worth market at a high level since the early 2000s, and has quietly been a business where nearly all of her success comes from trust, relationships, and referrals. Averaging 45 to 60 homes a year, she works primarily in the 500 and up space, but what really sets her apart isn't her price point, it's people. Known by many as Fancy Nancy, she doesn't just sell homes, she sells lifestyle, confidence, and clarity. With a background in design and a sharp eye for what others miss, she leads with education over pressure and empowers her clients to make decisions from a place of strength. Her reputation speaks for her long before she even walks into a room, which is very true. She's been recognized consistently by D Magazine, Real Producers, Voyeurs Dallas, and local publications, holds over 200 five-star reviews, and is known as one of the top agents in her market. Not because she chases attention, but because she shows up with integrity, class, and results. At her core, success for her isn't about volume, it's about alignment, it's about legacy, it's about her children watching their mother build something meaningful, something lasting, without losing herself in the process. Today, we're diving into what it really looks like to build a powerful personal brand, how education creates confidence in clients and agents alike, and why trusting your gut may be one of the most underrated business strategies there is. Please help me welcome my very good friend, Fancy Nancy.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
I think that intro speaks to who you are.
Thank you.
I really do. I think, first of all, how long have we known each other? I would think like
over 20 years.
Yeah, well over 20 years. And I know, Fancy Nancy's always been Fancy Nancy. Like before she probably called herself Fancy Nancy, she's been Fancy Nancy for those who don't know. However, I knew Fancy Nancy before the real estate.
Yes.
Right? And so to see like what you've built and how you've transferred into like what you've built is definitely remarkable. And that's why like I really want to make sure that I did your introduction justice.
Thank
so I hope
you.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I did. So definitely have some questions I want to ask, but this is going to be probably easier just to have a conversation because like I know you.
Yes.
Right?
Let's
so
do it. Let's do it. I'm excited.
So you built a business where your reputation speaks for you. Was there a moment early on when you realized trust would matter more than numbers?
Yes. So I'm not really a numbers oriented person. I know that's crazy. I'm more of like a relationship person. And I've always just had really good relationships with people. And so for me, I always start out with trust. Like I want people to trust me. And, it's not about me showing 50 houses till they find the right house. Like we're not buying a pair of shoes or a bag. Right. Like they have to love it. They can't like it. Mm-hmm. So that started from the very beginning of just real estate in general, of not really being number oriented and being more relational. Yeah. And it just kind of transformed in everything I do because it's just who I am. I'm just not really. And it's crazy because I get in rooms with high volume people and you could ask them their numbers and they could literally spit it out to you like this. Mm-hmm. And that's my downfall. I don't know my numbers like that. I don't really. Again, mine is more business referrals and that kind of thing. So I'm not so focused on it. Like sometimes I don't even know where my numbers are until like someone asks me. I have to physically like go look it up to tell you what my numbers are because I just don't. My mind doesn't really operate like that.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I think that's good. I don't think that's a downfall, honestly, because I'm the same way. Like, I don't really look at the numbers. I agree. I'm more relationship. I want to enjoy what I'm doing, and I do other things too. So I try to figure out like. I like to mix my fashion with real estate. Yes. So I make money with that. I like to mention, growing the team and really pouring into individuals who really want to pour into themselves and learn, right? If they're going to fall by the wayside, it's them. So I don't necessarily look at people's numbers. Like to be honest with you, I've known you I've never looked at your numbers. Yeah. I really don't. I've looked at how people respect you, the respect you have amongst your peers, amongst other agents, and then also too, I really want to talk about too. Well, I'm come back to this question, but I'm just curious, like, what drove you to want to become a realtor? I'm very curious.
So actually, I started in new home sales, and I worked for a builder.
I didn't know. Did I know that? I don't think I knew that.
I did that during our Club Life moments. And,
I didn't know that. Right.
So, when we were working in the industry, and so I would work like during the daytime, I worked for a builder. So, the hours are like 10 to 7. And then, we would go work at night at the club. I did bottle service and different various promotions and things. And, it's that whole cliche of like, oh, every bottle service girl turns into a realtor, which, you got to get over that whole thing. But like, honestly, I look at that time as a bottle service girl and just see how like those relationships of like booking tables and athletes and like different things carry over into our line of work even here, because they trust you, you're their go-to, you're their knowledge of, what's going on, what's the best place to go to, whatever it happens to be, right? It all kind of carries over. I withheld those relationships that have actually helped me progress in real estate. I've sold several athletes' homes and different things, designed their homes from the club life, right? So it's, you should never be embarrassed of what got you to where you are, and I think some people don't like to do that. But I started working for the builder. I did interior design, as you knew. I always loved homes and designing things, and I worked for a builder. And then, when you work for a builder, you're kind of stuck in the house. Like, you're 10 to 7, it's all weekends. Your days off are like during the week. And when the market kind of switched over, like 2007, 2008, you kind of turned into like babysitter of the model, because that's when like all the refinances and all the foreclosures and all the things were happening in that market, where I decided to, I'm going to reinstate my license and just
go.
So
that was 2007, 2007. Okay.
I worked for the builder from 2003 to about 2007.
Well,
and I got my license in 2003, but they make you put it inactive when you work for a builder, because they don't want you taking the people out of the model and selling a different brand of home. And then I reinstated back in 2007, 2008. But that's how it started. It started as just like working there because I like design. I got involved. I got to decorate some of the models, like working for the builder. So that's kind of like how it started. And I just developed relationships.
No, I love that. I love the point you made where you said, don't be ashamed to, express where you come from. I mean, you've done amazing work. Some of the events I used to do back in the day. None of you don't know, I used to do pretty big events, I would say, back in
Promoter,
the day. A long time. But you've always had a way with just people, with because getting people to spend money and spending more with you, that's a gift, and it's relations. And so that definitely not surprised how you've been able to just kill it in the game. I definitely want to touch on, like I said, I had some questions, but it's just some things that I know that you've done very well, and I want our listeners to just get some gems from you. I feel you have a really amazing follow-up system, which, to be very honest with you, I've been a realtor now almost 9 years, and it's probably taken me 5 to 6 years to really take it seriously. But ever since I've known, I mean, may not have been the whole time, but I would say definitely within like 5 or 6 years, your follow-up system has really been, it's phenomenal, really, to be honest with you. So can you speak on that, and just speak on the importance of follow-up in your business?
So follow-up is super, super, super important. And I think the thing is just checking in on people, and especially when they have like big life moments, to make them feel like you actually sincerely care. And so it all starts with systems. Like, you have to have good systems in order to follow up correctly. And I know a lot of people use like different like CRMs and those kind of things. And honestly, I am terrible at those. Even though like our broker gives us one, EXP, you can choose which one. I have Lofty.
You're Lofty? Okay, I'll use Bold.
They're all great. It just, you have to use them, right? But when I first started, I didn't have any of those. I just used a basic Excel sheet. And honestly, I kind of revert to it even still till this day, where I use that. But mostly, as far as like constantly following up, like I have like, you know, you have your clients' birthdays, you have like different things like that. But I'm also Facebook friends with a lot of my clients, so I could see what's happening like in their lives. So I could see like, oh, so-and-so's mom just passed away. Let me send them a sympathy card.
Yeah.
Oh, so-and-so's daughter, it just had a birthday. Let me Amazon something to their house.
Right.
Like just being conscious of being aware of what you're seeing and responding to what you're seeing. Because, you know, I think a lot of times in today's social worlds, like you feel like you're caught up with people just because you can see what they're doing, but did you really reach out?
They don't know, right.
How many people are actually reaching out besides like a little like? And I think that's the follow-up where, you know, people miss that. And then also just going through your list of people, and like I try to call, you know, I set realistic goals, like 5 to 7 people a day that are in my database, and I do it by names. So like if you're an A, if your last name is with an A, you fall on this day. If your last name is with a B, you fall on this day. Your last name is with a C, you fall on this day.
And so what does that look like? Is that a phone call? Is that a writing letter? Or
it's a phone call. Okay. It's a time blocking where like I'm blocking out in my day, you know, to prospect, you know, an hour for calls. And I'm getting on the phone and I'm calling however many last names, you know, usually 5 to 10 in one day, where I'm trying to call, or if I know they're at work, sending a video message, because, you know your clients better. So just be like, hey, I hope you're doing well. I know you're at work. I just was thinking about you, and I just wanted to say hi, you know. Or if I'm in the area of a client's home and I know they're in the area, I'll randomly send a video. I'm in your neighborhood. I know you're at work, but I just couldn't be in the neighborhood without saying something. You know, like these small little touches as far as like follow-up make people feel like special. And then, you know, my client events, like honestly, like that's a big portion of follow-up is your client events.
Yeah, I personally haven't been, because I haven't been one of your clients, but but I've seen, and I know personally, like, because we have mutual friends, right? We have mutual friends, and we have mutual friends where I'll never reach out to them. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm like, well, you know,
they're Nancy's
my friend, and you know, I totally respect Nancy. Like, they're not on my CRM system.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, I've sent though, even like Kevin McKee, I've sent him business with his business, but I don't expect him to send me anything.
Yeah.
I very close with Nolan. We talk from time to time, but I've never asked Nolan for business.
Yes.
It's just like, I feel like your stamp with certain people is like really stamped. And then I think there's a lot of integrity that's not there with amongst realtors in this day and time.
That's
and I
the
feel
thing,
like that's one thing you definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you see it every now and then where they'll know that they're your client, but they'll still like reach out.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've had that actually happen recently. And
really?
But, you know, my client was real adamant about, oh, yeah, no, Nancy's my realtor. And if I was going to use a realtor, it'd be Nancy. And like upfront told that person, you know, but again, that's what it takes, right? Like, and so my client events, I try to do at least 2 a quarter. And my events I kind of spend a lot of money on my events.
Yeah. Oh, like, so you do 2 a quarter?
I try.
Wow, even that,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's a
like
whole
I just
lot.
Did one for Christmas. I did my Cocoa Bomb event, and I had all these people in my home, and they come, and I mean,
you had it at your house.
I had it at my house.
How did that go?
It's actually my second time doing the Cocoa Bomb event at my house, and I mean, people love it. I mean, like they want a tour. I give them a tour. You know, like what makes them feel more like their family, and then you invite them over to your home. Yeah,
that was. Well, I told you my house I sold, that was a lot bigger house. But this, I sold it's a smaller house. But my next home that I'm looking to purchase, I have an idea of what I want to purchase. That's been a goal of mine, having team events more at my house, having client appreciations more at my house. So people, because everybody wants to see, like, they see you on TV, they see you on you know, on either
Fancy
tours,
Fridays.
they see you, Fancy Fridays.
They want to see what your house
living?
looks like. And honestly, I live in a modest house. I don't live in that big of a home.
But your design, though, makes like...
Yeah,
I mean, can see why people would be interested in seeing it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think people want to see how it's decorated, you know. But a lot of my clients live in nicer homes than I live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I think it's just one of those things of like, I generally have a good relationship with all my clients. I mean, they invite me to their kids' quinceañeras and their kids' birthdays and their graduations, and I go to their kids' graduation from high school, you know, like, so it just is that's how I built the referral business and follow up.
Awesome.
It all comes from following up. Going back to your question,
How I'm curious, because like I said, I've known Fancy before the Realtor Fancy.
Yes.
And I've known, of course, Nancy before the wife and mother, Nancy.
Yes.
How has that changed your, like, you know, because of course you have probably more time, more different things, but I think just from, you know, the outside looking in, because we haven't had this conversation, but it really seems, as I can tell with your business still flourishing and doing things, how, for the mothers out there who, you know, have to balance being a wife, being a, you know, a mother, and still do well in business, how do you do that?
You know, I get asked that all the time, like, how do you do it all? And I think
you have a lot.
Yeah, and
oh, for one thing, hold that thought. Do not end the thought. Go watch her in passenger. What do you call it when you're waiting for your kids?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
My Carpool Chronicles.
It's definitely entertaining. Yeah, you definitely want to watch that. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You know, I think people say, like, how do you do it all? And I think the key thing is like you do the best that you can. You do the best that you can, and you have to have a support system. Like I said, my husband supports me a lot.
Which
like
is important.
It's important. Like I read some of these mom blogs, like Moms in Real Estate's one of them on Facebook, and I see some of the things that the women in there write, like, oh, my husband doesn't help me do this, or my husband doesn't this, or my husband gets an attitude when I don't have this, and it breaks my heart for these women because it's almost like when the shine isn't on maybe the spouse because they're a male and the ego, or, you know, whatever it might be, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's harder for the pressure of the mom or the woman to like do everything, and I don't really have to battle those kind of things.
Which is important
in my home. So, you know, like we're partners and we split and balance things, and, you know, it works. Like I probably have my own mom guilt as far as like things that I do, but what I've learned to do now in my business to make it all work is you have to plant seeds where you play. So now I am...
makes sense.
So now I'm on the PTA at my school, and I'm a room mom. Right?
Gotcha.
At my son's school. So now I'm building relationships with women in the PTA, and I'm building relationships with women, room moms, and I'm getting clients from working the PTA and the room mom and the sports moms. And I've just kind of had to transition where I was hanging out and playing and meeting clients to meeting clients in areas that are where my kids are.
Makes sense.
And so it is definitely a transition, but that's what I had to do. And like I said, people are like, you signed up for PTA. Like, how do you have time for that? I don't. I make time for it.
You have to make,
right? I'm the HOA president in my neighborhood because I want to build the trust of all my neighbors. I want to be the go-to person. I've had 11 listings in my neighborhood because I'm HOA president, and I started the Facebook group, and I do everything in my neighborhood. It's the same thing in my son's school. I don't necessarily want to sign up to be room mom.
Right, yeah.
But I sign up to be room mom, and I'm good at room mom, and I make it special for my kids, and I get to be there for my son's activity.
Which is awesome.
But I also get to meet moms, and I get to mingle, and I do pickles and popcorn, and I wear a ridiculous popcorn outfit or a pickle outfit on pickle and popcorn day, and all the things. And my son sees me, but I'm also building trust of other women that are 100%. Also volunteering.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to play in areas and network in areas that are going to end up getting you business. I did a school event at my son's school where I did like a coloring book event, and I made a whole coloring book, and my son was in it, and it was all themed in the school because they had like a little career day thing, and I got 2 listings off of that. Just meeting.
Yeah.
So again, I had to shift. I had to learn to shift. Like I'm no longer going to happy hours and sitting at the bar and talking to random strangers at the bar and picking up clients, or going through, you know, double dates and meeting other clients. I'm doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Which I think that builds trust, especially because I mean you're in those individuals like personal space with their kids.
And
so
we
I think
have
that
kids, and our
trust.
kids are activities together, and so again, you know, like I've had to just shift. I've had to shift mindset to make it work.
Yeah, yeah. I know before, you know, we've talked, and I know you talk about legacy, especially for your children. Yeah. What do you hope they understand about women behind the brand?
You know, I hope that my kids can see like how hard I work, and that hard work pays off.
Definitely.
And that, you know, you can be a mom and be all the things, but you can still have something for yourself. Like you don't have to put all your trust or all the pressure on your significant other. You know, things are expensive. You know, like
I think that's important. You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off. I think that's important that you said that, and it really speaks to I've met your husband before.
Yes.
We don't know each other very closely, but I've met him a couple times, and kudos out to him to be able to, like I especially back in the party, I had a big ego, and I've went through things, some personal things that probably in my life where I've had to literally, like, life literally has cut my ego down to where it's just like, it's there, but it's very controllable. It's like extreme. Like, I know the triggers, and immediately when the trigger comes, I'm like, nope, that's not the Daniel, because this could happen, or this could happen, this could happen. And I immediately shift, right? And so kudos out to that, because, it definitely takes a husband that knows how to control his ego to be able to support, I feel, someone like you who a lot of people know who you are when you go in a lot of circles, like you're well known around. People are going to be like, oh, Nancy, fancy Nancy, like. And to be able to sometimes take the back seat to that as a man, I love that you said, the partner is very important. And it really is, especially in this industry, if you're out there like that. It really
your
is.
partner in life is like the most important decision you make.
Yeah,
like
big time,
it can make you or break you. Like, because then it spirals down to your kids. It spirals down to how they're raised. It spirals down to like everything else. And nothing's perfect, right? Like,
of course.
I'm not sitting here saying, like we don't have nothing is perfect, right?
Right.
But the thing is learning to work through it and providing a good life for your kids and yourself and all the things. And I think too, men have a lot of pressures these days as well.
Yeah.
Things are expensive and like they're expected, or it used to be like, men should pay everything, and I'm like, I wasn't necessarily raised that way. Like, my mom raised me to be like an equal. You're in a partnership. Yeah. Partnership means you take on half of the responsibility. Like, that's how I was raised. My mom taught me to never depend on anyone, especially a man. Okay, that's how I was raised. And I'm thankful to my mom for that, because I never feel like I make decisions not feeling like I'm stuck to have to make that decision, where I run into women who make decisions because they're stuck.
Yeah. Yo, yeah, that is so real. They kind of push back. Yeah.
And the thing is when you're making decisions because you have to, and no judgment here, right? No judgment.
Right.
I'm simply saying that I think sometimes the roles and the pressures and all the things of today's society, like, you can get really, you miss the mark of what's really important.
100%.
And I think that, like, people don't understand that there's other pressures out there as well, like coming from outside world of men and different things, which creates the role problem.
It's cool that I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think a lot of, being a man, a lot of women kind of miss the mark of that. There are pressures, of course, just outside of paying bills and stuff like that, of which nowadays is big. Especially if you're taking care of a whole household. Like, and it's just what $2 my dog, and like I can go through $600 in groceries in a month. That's nothing. Like, it's like, imagine having a kid, 2 kids. Like, it's you have to be perform at a high level, especially if you want to take trips and get the cars you want and the clothes you want, and so it's really cool to hear you say that, because I think that can be enlightening for a lot of women out there who may be seeing this.
Yeah, I mean, I said, that's how it's a true partnership in other ways. And he does more around the house and helps out with kids and things like that. But I also help pay. Like, he's not all the pressure is on him to do everything. And I think it's a balance, right? Like,
it is a balance. Yeah, I think that's important, especially for someone like me. Like, I know a lot of they may need someone to clean up. Like, my house is spotless. My maid comes through. Lady forgot how to even put gas in the car. Like, it's you do your part, but it's really good to have that true partner that can pick up where you may drop the ball.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. You've helped so many people build wealth through real estate. Was there ever a moment where you had to fight for yourself in the same way? So you've helped so many people build wealth through real estate. Was there ever a moment where, you've had to maybe there's a hard time in the industry where you're like, I want to speak to that, where you've had such a successful career. what were the times where maybe turning points? I would maybe want to question that. Like you felt like, man, maybe this isn't what I should be doing, or was there ever that time where you were like doubting yourself in the industry? I mean, I know the ups and downs in this market. If there were at that time, how did you get past that?
I don't know if I would say like ups and downs in the industry. I've had some ups and downs with clients where instead of them like I had one particular client where, we had a listing and, long story short, they ended up terminating the listing early.
That happens.
And it had been under contract twice and then went back on the market. But essentially they didn't really have the conversation as to like why. And I think it's one of those things when you're a person and you genuinely care about people and you're there to help people, when people don't have like a closure conversation, it is bothersome because I think sometimes at the end of the day, yeah, you're here to perform a job, but you're also a person.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes people miss that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, at the end of the day, like my job is to genuinely help someone, like, and I love helping people. I thrive at helping people. Yeah. And so like that gives me fulfillment in what it is that I do. And so like the stress of it all is stressful. Like, I mean, you literally hold people's lives like in your hands. Like,
yeah.
So that part of it is stressful. I think there's a misconception in the industry too. Like people think, like my cousin was just in town and he had a baby and his wife just went back to work and she had 6 months off. And he was like, how much time did you take off when you had your baby? And I like chuckle. Exactly. I'm chuckling like you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I didn't get any time.
I saw you walk around when you were like,
yeah, I'm like, like 2 days, like maybe. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you get that a realtor, like we wake up every day unemployed. Like, essentially, you get what you kill. It's a bad analogy, but it's the truth.
You eat what you kill, yeah.
So, like, I don't get vacations paid. I don't get time and a half. I don't get PTO. I don't get maternity leave. Like, that's not how our organization is ran. True. And I don't think that people realize that when you wake up every morning, you wake up essentially unemployed.
And definitely people that are not in the industry, they don't realize that you really have to love this industry.
You have to love people and you have to love what you do. And like on a few posts, like in the very beginning, like when I had my first son, like I had like some mom haters like, oh my God, you're sitting at a closing like you just had a baby 3 days ago, like being judgy like on my post.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I like had a whole like meltdown about it before I went to the closing, and my husband was like, Nancy, Cairo is asleep. You're not missing anything. You're like down the street eating cookies at a closing. Like it's not a big deal. Like, and what the people that didn't know that made that comment was that closing that I was at down the street was an elderly man who someone had tried scamming him out of his house.
Oh, wow.
And he was referred to me by a neighbor, and he was so worried about the closing that I told him that I might have to send someone for the closing because I wasn't sure if I was going to have my baby, like, with the timeline of when he was supposed to close. And he was like, well, as long as you send someone in place of you, I don't want to sign anything because I don't want to sign anything wrong, because he had been scared.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, you're sitting there judging, but what you don't know is that, like, this elder gentleman is depending on me.
Wow.
Because you don't know the background. But, like, people were literally, like, judging. I can't believe you just had a baby and you're at a closing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like they think that you're doing it for money.
Yeah.
Like, I left my child to go get money. No.
Yeah.
This gentleman had been scammed. I am his security. This is why I showed up to the closing. I could have easily sent someone.
Wow. Yeah. That is, that definitely true. I mean, people, I've had that a lot of times where people think, real estate it's not what it appears to be. There's so many things that go behind the scenes.
If you're in this business for money, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, even 100%. As a realtor,
because you're not going to last. You're not going to last.
Yeah, you get in the business like, do you know how many expenses you have that no one tells you about?
Yes, and especially like the more successful you are, it like you don't realize how much it creeps up. Like, yo, I'm spending like this much a year in expenses. That really that are, in my opinion, meaningful experience. Like you've known me for a long time, and I've always had a big imagination, as anyone who knows me can tell. Like, I feel like I can do anything I want to do. And then just for example, like with this podcast space, like it started with something smaller and they got bigger and bigger. And
yeah,
I
you
connect with
outgrew
other
the
people.
space you're in, and now you have this bigger, nicer space.
Yeah, and it's like I'm always imagining that I can combine what I'm doing, like my love for and passion for people, or just my artistic side, and mingle it with the real estate. And I think a lot of realtors don't know how to do that, and so they just do it for just money. And you know, if you're doing it for just money, it's probably a good chance you may not last in this industry.
Yeah, no. It's growth, right?
Yeah.
When you constantly want to better yourself, you invest back in your business.
100%.
But I mean, like I think that's it, right? Like you have to like love what you do. They say, right? You love what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that ties into the next question I want to ask, because like I said, I had questions written down, but I knew this was going to be more of a flowing conversation just because I was like really excited that you're here. If a woman listening feels successful but quietly exhausted, what would you want her to hear from you right now?
I mean, it's normal. We all feel exhausted. I think as women, we just do a better job in hiding it. I mean, like I have moments where I feel exhausted, like that snow day week where the kids were home. I don't know if you saw.
Bet.
I don't know if you saw, honey, but I was like hiding in a closet with like a face mask. Like I'm like, I got 15 minutes. I'm in the closet. Like, like I mean, we all feel exhausted and burnt out. Like, so do I. Like, you know, when you're dealing with people and their biggest asset and like all the pressures and in this market that we're just getting in, like houses are sitting, sellers want answer. Why is my house on the market for 100 and something days?
I'm going through that now.
What are you doing to get it sold? Like all the pressures, like people don't realize that like, yeah, you're exhausted because you wake up getting beat down every day. It's literally like a beat down because you got people that want answers. Yeah, and they don't want the same answers. They want answers.
I want to touch on that because I'm glad you went there, because that wasn't even anything I was going to ask, but I'm glad you went there because, of course, I'm dealing with that now. I got some listings that have I have to literally look myself in the mirror and say, you know, you're not a failure. You know, you've done literally everything. You've spent $5,000 on this listing, you know, and I think a lot of realtors, they look at, from the outside, or just people in general outside looking in, they feel like everything's perfect because, you know, I'm always putting out content, I'm always doing different things, but it's like behind the scenes, like I'm really going through it to figure out and get creative. I know the market's tough right now. I know like 6 months inventory. I think it's longer than that right now. The inventory is crazy, but I'm like, how can I get this stuff? So I'm just curious, how do you deal with like listings that are sitting for a while, or clients who, they know you're a person of integrity? Because, you know, just to give an example real quick, I have a client that we've done 3 deals in the last, I would say, 4 years. You know, I helped them buy a house. I helped them buy a home in Mexico. You know, I do business in Mexico. Yeah. They have an investment property there, and then I helped their parents buy a house. So I've done 3 deals with them, but now their listings been on the market. It's been over 100 days. I've done all the things. Like I'm like, goodness, like what, you know, the broker opens, a ton of open houses. It's gotten like 35 showings. It's getting traction, right? It's gotten traction more, and it still hasn't. So how do you deal with that when you know you've done everything possible, but stuff isn't selling? You have to, you know, still talk to the client. Like how do you deal with that and navigate with that? Because I know it can be still even hard to this day for me. I've been in business 90 years.
Yeah, honestly, it's literally just over communicating with the seller. Like I give seller weekly updates, and I give factual. The updates that I give are factual, where they have stats, where I can take snippets and actually show them their actual home. Like, this is your home on Zillow. This is how many views. This is how many saves. This is your home on MLS. This is how many views. This is how many saves. This is how many reverse prospecting emails I've done, which means I go into the MLS, I find all the people that have been sent your home, and I send their agents a direct YouTube link to your home and all the stats of your home. This is how many I've sent out. This is the email I've sent out, like just constantly showing them what it is that you're doing so they can see like what it is that you're doing. Because you telling them is totally different than you showing them.
You have to show them. You have to show them.
You have to show them. And so it's like that constant thing, like, this is the Facebook ads I did on your home this week. This is how many hits it got. This is this. Like, and even though it's like tedious and you feel like you're like banging a horse to death, like it's necessary. Like I had a listing in my neighborhood. Like I told you, I've sold 11 houses in my neighborhood. Like I'm like known as like the weekender in my neighborhood. Like I sell every house in my neighborhood like the first weekend. I knew I was going to sell this one the first weekend just because the market was a little bit different. But it took me 112 days. Like, I don't even want to to the point of where when I turned the corner, I was sick of seeing my face.
Right.
Literally, like, I don't want to see this freaking sign anymore. Like, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, you're tired of it, yeah.
I had done everything in that house. I staged, I bought furniture. Okay, put furniture in that house, staged that house, took furniture out of my own house, patio, if they had no patio, walked my patio furniture down, staged their backyard with my patio furniture, like things in my home, some artwork on my wall is in their house. Like, I'm moving things around constantly. I had so many like realtors in and out of there, like, give me your opinion, what is this house? And literally they're like, nothing, Nancy, the house is perfect. All the bedrooms were up, which was the issue, right? Mine.
Oh, even the primary.
All the bedrooms were up in this home, and there was a building behind the home, and the building also had a phase 1 of the building, but then it had a phase 2 where it wasn't permitted, but it had plans for another building. And when people would want to make an offer, and then they would pull the plans from the city that another building was going to be possibly built there, with the fear of not knowing what that other building would be and what they would have behind their home would keep people from offering. And I couldn't overcome that.
Yeah,
it was like
I have a listing right now where I'm trying to overcome something like that.
And that's what it was, right? And I would pull the city and I'd be, look, these plans have been in the city for like 15 years. There's no permit in the city. Like, I would try to debunk it in all the ways that I could. But honestly, it literally just came down to like having to over communicate with the seller. And like finally we did sell it. Right around Christmas. And, you know, it was a young buyer that didn't really care. And they're like, we're only going to be here for a few years anyways. Like, you know, and everything ended up working out. But, like, I literally had to, like, beat it over a head of, like, over communication. It was exceptionally hard. I did not picture... I couldn't have seen that one because, like, I felt like the house was perfection.
Yeah, I have something like that. Like I'm dealing with that right now. I have a question. Have you had a listing that you didn't sell?
Yes, everyone.
And how does everybody and how, which I'm sure you have, how does that sit? Like, how do you over? Kind of with me, I don't let it down. I know at first it did. I was like, man, but now it's like, when looking at everything I've done, it's like, you know, it's part of the business.
Exactly. I was like, it's a numbers game, right? Like, how many listings do you get? Like, some of them are going to sell, some of them aren't. Some of them don't sell. They're not necessarily your fault. It could be it's on a main road. It smells like weed. You know, I mean, like, there's so many factors that go into it. At the end of the day, the realtor gets blamed for everything. But then, you know, I try not to let things like that bother me anymore. Like, in the very beginning, but now in my career, it's like, okay, that one didn't sell. I'm on to the next. Like, I don't spend too much time, you know, like, even if I have a listing agreement and someone says they want out and we've signed a 6-month agreement, like, I'm totally okay letting you out.
Yeah.
I don't want to work with someone that doesn't want to work with you because at that point, the trust is broke. And for whatever reason. And so I'm not going to hang on to a listing. I mean, it's already difficult. And then I have to surf through whatever it is going on. Like,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it
at that point. Yeah.
I'll get another listing.
Yeah. How you know, I see that you have a pretty tight network of I could tell of other realtors and just in the
you have to have your squad.
How important is like collaboration? You know, with Messiha Home Globe Collective, we're all about, you know, we're big on collaboration over competition. Like, that's what I say almost every time we meet. You know, it's collaboration over competition, which I'm a pretty competitive person. You know, I was probably back in the event throwing days. You know, me, Neil, Nolan, and Trady, me and Neil were probably the more competitive ones as far as vocal. We were very competitive. I've always been like that. Right, I want to do the best in whatever space I'm in. But of course, in this industry, doing it alone, it's not as fun. And so collaborating with other realtors and having one team, I feel is very important. How do you feel about that, and how is important that to you as far as collaboration?
It's so important. I think for me, like, I don't really compete with anyone. I'm in competition with myself. Like, I have a goal of wanting to do better for me every year, but like, my goals look different than yours or anyone else's, right? Everything is different. Like, I used to have the goal of like, I want to sell 60 houses and I want to do this and that and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And next year I want to sell 100 houses because I already sold 60. Like, those aren't my goals anymore. I have littles. I'm one person, right? So my goals are a little bit totally different. Like, I've been there, done that, sold all the...
Right.
And it's like, what did I really... necessarily as fulfilling. So as far as like collaboration, like for me, I'm all about helping other people move forward. Like it makes me so proud to see like other people move forward, or people that I know that I've touched their lives or helped them, and then see how successful they are. It's like so amazing to me.
It is because
you feel like you just feel like your knowledge or somehow inspired someone to go be great and amazing. So having your squad is like so important, because you know, people rely on, you know, like people will call you and ask you, like when we were doing that networking, and they're like, hey, we need someone. I was like, oh, I know who to call Dan, and I gave your number.
Yeah,
you know,
I appreciate that was awesome.
People will reach out to you for certain things, and you know, if I was in competition with you, I wouldn't have referred you. Like
100%.
It's so stupid to me. Like, what's meant to be yours is going to be yours regardless of who is out there or not, right? Like,
it is.
God has a plan for you. Like, what's meant for you is meant for you. It doesn't matter. And again, I'm not for everyone either, right? Like, some people are going to be like, oh yeah, she's too much. She's too extra. She's too hyper. Is she always like this? She's, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and then, you know, some other people are going to gravitate towards me and not so much someone else. Like, they're kind of boring or whatever it is, right? So that's why I always say, like, what's meant for you is meant for you, you know?
100%.
I think the most important thing, too, is, like, when you're working with people, I think, at least in my experience, like, the people that I work with, like, they start to talk to me the way I talk to them. And it's so
over time yes, it does.
It's so like funny to me. Like, it's like they'll be like, hey doll, or when they text me, they're like, hey doll, because you know that's my thing. I say doll.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, hey.
You've always said that.
Yes. And they'll be like, hey doll, I was wondering, do you know a good blah 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 for Valentine's Day? I want to take my wife to. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, book a restaurant here, and here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but like they start to talk to you the way that you talk to them. And you know, like I had a client, he was an athlete's father. And every time I got to the house, the dad was like a little bit like crunchy, which is like my word for like grumpy. I'd be like, oh, you're a little crunchy today. And so I'd get to the house and it's like 8:30 and I walk in and I'm like, hey, da-da-da. And I have my painter with me. And he's like, are you always like this in the morning? And I'd be like, good morning to you too, Mr. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And like every morning, and I would come with my coffee, and sometimes I'd bring him a coffee, and he's like, but like towards the end, like, you know, he's kind of like, you know, like jabbering with me, but like he really liked me. Like that's his way of like, and I'm like, oh, are you feeling extra crunchy today? And he's like, I'm not crunchy. I'm like, are you sure? I see that smile, and by the end of it, you know, we're like besties, right?
Yeah.
But like sometimes you just have to get people out of like their own little.
That's true.
Their little box. Like I'm definitely like pushing the limit. Like, you know, he's like, I don't know if I like this. It looks busy, you know, like only the wallpaper. And I'm like, well, you're looking at it unfinished. That's why we don't work spaces when people live in the homes, and it's better for you to come and see it, you know. And I explained, I was like, but you insisted on being here every day when you're not supposed to be here every day,
right,
Mr. So-and-so. And so you probably wouldn't feel that way, you know, whatever. He's like, okay. I'm like, let's wait till it's done. And if you still feel the same way when it's done, you know, we'll rethink the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, by the end of it, you know, he's asking me to do another room that wasn't on the list for me to do, right? But again, like, you just have to learn how to take people out of their own box sometimes, right? Because I'm the professional. You hired me. So let me do what I do.
Right. Yeah. I definitely can say, you know, I've seen you with clients and with realtors, and just knowing you the amount of years. Like, Fancy Nancy is definitely solid. Like, you've always been solid, and I think, you know, people can just feel that. You know what I mean? And your vibe attracts your tribe. So if people vibe with it, they're gonna want to work with you. But I definitely want to ask one more question.
Yes.
You say live just fancier.
Yes, that's the only way to live life, honey.
What does that actually mean in the season when life feels heavy and uncertain?
It means that, like, live just fancier is very much a saying for, like, all things in life. Like, you get one life to live.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think a lot of times people save things like, you know, their nice china for only, like, a fancy dinner, or I have perfect example. I have gold silverware in my house.
Me too.
Okay?
Me too, yeah.
I'm an all gold girl, if y'all didn't know.
Yeah,
and I have gold silverware in my house, and my mom's like, is that like your everyday silverware or just for like special occasions? And I'm like,
every day, yeah.
no, Mom, this is what we're using every day. Like, what?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's what Live Just Fancier is essentially. It's like, you know, you get one life to live.
You do. Yeah.
Why are we saving things for like only special moments when who knows what that's going to be, right? So
Yeah.
Live Just Fancier, I just try to embody that in everything I do. Like if something is fancier or a little bit extra because, you know, it's blinged out or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Everybody can have their own idea of what fancy is. You know, like
Exactly.
my husband, when we go on vacation, he likes ocean view. I could personally care less about ocean room because I don't want to sit in the room.
Right.
My mindset is I'm not sitting in the freaking room to care about what the ocean looks like. I want to be out.
You want to be out in the ocean,
right? I'm a mover. Like I want to see, right? But his idea is if I'm all the way at the ocean, we don't have an ocean view. I want to see an ocean. Oh, so we pay more for an ocean view in our household, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like just live just fancier. Like just always go for. You deserve it, right?
I agree.
So many things in life,
totally
like
agree.
you deserve it. Like if it's, you obviously within limits. I'm not saying like don't pay your bills to like go buy a bag, right?
Yeah.
With let's
Within
be
limits.
smart about it. Let's have like boundaries, right? But I'm just saying like live just fancier is just like when you go from like an apartment to a house, you're living fancier. When you go from a Honda to a BMW, you're living fancier. Like when you go from whatever, you get what I'm saying. It's just like
100%. I get people all the time. They not as me now, but you're always they're always in a nice suit. Like you're always in this, like or
why
what's the
not?
occasion? I'm like, well, it's Tuesday, or it's like that's something I think. Well, it's Thursday, and I feel like why should I wait until you have a special function or someone died or something like that to look and feel my best? I would rather do that every single day. And so I'm totally for that. And even like in my house, like I've had friends come over and guys come over and, even the days where, single and people would come or you might date someone, they may come over your house and they think that a woman stays in your house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you go in the closet, check the cab. It's like it's just me, like you know what I mean. So it's because I feel that same way. I've always been that way. So I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
I mean, like, and I think too, like people that like want to, we bought a house and we built it from the builder, and honestly, I gutted it. Like we closed on the house, and then my husband and I gutted it. And some of my husband's friends are like, only you would buy a house and then like gut it. And I'm like, first off, I'm in design. Second off, I didn't like half of the builder options.
Right. Yeah.
I go to design centers all the time for all these builders, and I know what's out there.
And you can do it cheaper just because you know what to do.
I have my own people. I know what to do. These builders want to charge me for flooring 20 grand when I can get the flooring I want and not have to choose from their little selection.
Yeah.
Right? And I could gut it and do it better.
Yeah.
But it's like someone from the outside looking, oh, she's so bougie. She guts a brand new house. I sure do. I got a brand new house and I got what I wanted and I paid less than what someone else paid. You know what I'm saying? But like my thing is if I don't do it before I move in, I'm not doing it. Because then you get accustomed to living there. How many times do you go to sell someone a house? They buy it, they say they're going to do renovations, they move out. You go to sell it 3 years later and it looks exactly the same, or they're fixing it for someone else and they didn't enjoy it.
100%.
So my thing is I'm going to live just fancier and I'm going to enjoy it while I live there. I'm fixing it for me and my family.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I haven't always done it before I moved in. This one I did, and I'm like that with cars as well too. Like, people, they'll pay, like for instance, with my Bronco, people for that, it's like, if I bought it brand new, and from the dealership it would have been like 80 grand. You know what I mean? I bought it for like 50, and I put like another 10 into it. And people who have Broncos, I know they pay a lot more for it, are like looking at my Bronco, like, dude, what'd you do? Because I know where to go to the list. I know to get the tire. Like I know everything to get it cheaper and to look the way I want to look. But I'm the same way. Like the next weekend, like I think it was like 2 weekends, it was at the shop, right? Because I wanted to enjoy it, And of course, within means. You have to have certain goals and accomplish certain things and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah.
And the thing is, too, just like you said, you have to know where to look. Like, honestly, like, I like nice things. I mean, live just fancier, but I also am very, like, I'm a bargain shop. Like, me too. I love Ross. Don't sleep on Ross, okay, people?
Ross, at home.
Like, oh, that Ross, okay? Like, the best store ever.
I bought some amazing stuff. I have some amazing stuff where people like, how much pay that off of just Facebook Marketplace?
Yes.
People like moving or they have to get rid of it or whatever. Like
Home Goods, Ross, I mean, like Amazon, like all the different, and people were really like, I'm like, it's from Amazon. They're like, no way. And I'm like, yeah.
Like,
Amazon, you just have to have an eye for like what looks good.
You do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so again, I'm not saying blow all your money and be irresponsible. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's okay to have nice things and not be apologetic for it.
No, I totally agree. One final tip to give to realtors, like if you had to one before we go, one thing that you would want realtors to know to help them in their business, grow their business, what would it be?
I would probably say branding. You have to brand yourself, and you have to start branding yourself.
You know I agree with that. You
have to brand yourself right away, like when you first start, because even if you switch brokers over time, you brand you, and you always take you, no matter where you're going. So I've always been Live Just Fancier, Fancy Nancy. I've been in the industry 23 years. I've been in 3 different brokers in the 23 years. I started at Century 21, then I was at Altima, now I'm at EXP, and no one probably even knows what broker I'm with. They all think I'm with myself.
No,
I am a broker myself. I am a broker. I have my broker's license. I got it in 2014.
I remember you got it.
Mine's, Luxe Living Realty, powered by EXP. My tagline is Live Just Fancier, but people probably don't even know it's by EXP because I don't brand EXP. I didn't. When I first saw you at the conferences,
I was like,
"You're with EXP.
What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I've known you forever. And I was like, okay. And to be honest, with you,
that was at Build when I was speaking on the Build stage.
That was at Build, and I think I text you or something.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like already. Before I leave, like I always, like everything I do now, I mean, for many years, I was like, God, it's just the move you want to make. And he told me that, he clearly told me it's time for you to build your team. Like, and the way I figured out was very, very scary because he made it very clear, like, it's time for you to go. Mm-hmm. But that was my first EXP event. So it was very, it was kind of another confirmation that when I saw you on stage, I was like, okay, I know who Nancy is. Mm-hmm. Like, I know who Nancy is.
Yeah.
And this is how she feels about this company. Mm-hmm. It's definitely it was kind of just a confirmation that, okay, I'm definitely am right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of being here. So, it's been a pleasure.
Branding is it. Brand yourself. Yes.
Yeah. I can. Well, you guys know, we always talk about, if you've seen other episodes of here, we're big on branding. We're always about branding, always about the branding and things. So I think that's an amazing tip. It's an amazing tip. Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to say who you are. Like, people, most of the time, if I'm with real estate people, they don't even call me Nancy. They literally like, Fancy Fancy? Yeah, this is Fancy. Even though I don't introduce myself as Fancy, I say Nancy, but everybody else says Fancy. Yeah. So like, it's like,
because people call me Dan. Some people are like, Dan Can, and people think that's like my real name.
Dan Can.
No, it's Dan Can the Peoples. It's a tagline. It's a slogan. It's a slogan. Dan Can the Peoples. But no, you're right. You're 100% right. But thank you so much for being on. This was. I mean, I love interviewing reals, but this was definitely an very easy and fun conversation.
Yes.
We'll have her socials, but definitely just pop on her socials so people know where they can follow you. If they want to follow you on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram under live_just_fancier.
Yes, definitely go follow Nancy. Thanks again for coming on.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things, and we will see you guys next time. Yes.